and I'm gonna wait like 3 seconds or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Going to wait 3 seconds for the internet to stabilize because it's weird. Sometimes it doesn't work, but yeah, it works actually, so it's good. But yeah, so this one is some like mama's story. They're good mamas too. Like all my friends, they're good mamas. They're good. So it's not about you or it's not about them. It's a different story. I also have to share some of those story too, of course. And those are like, kind of like a sociology study part. Like people who also inspired to study sociologies. Those area you can talk. You can listen this part. Oh my gosh, my neighbor just started talking. Maybe they heard my chat. Did you hear in the background? But anyway, so okay, there's and so my biological mom. So okay, those are like a sociology study people. We can talk this part. Like you can listen, and other people, please just skip it. Yeah, only like a clicking part. We can listen. Like you can listen, and that's a great way because everybody have their own different like personality is different. So you don't have to hear other people's like. Yeah, if you don't like that part, you should not listen. But anyway, so my mom, she used to, those are some share, and I've already talked about it. I've already shared about it too before, and some of my JP friends, JP friends, they know it. Some of my JP buddies or acquaintances, they know it too. So, and the good friends or like a group, they also know it. So some of them. And the trusted good people, yeah, they know it. So when I talk about this story, it's gonna be like I'm talking again. That's kind of a way probably. But yeah, when I was 6 years old, my mom, biological mom, maybe she had a problem or where she didn't like her husband. Should divorce would be very much happier. So that's kind of like weird because I also married when I was 23 years old, and my mom also married when she was 20 years old. She never divorced, but I divorced, like what my mom should do. By the way, when I married my first husband, not my second husband, my first husband, I noticed later seemed like he's exactly like my mom when he was pissed or something, and he said like I'm gonna beat her up. Then I was worried, so I went to church and asked the people. I also talked about it to my friends too, and it's pretty much happened where he didn't really beat me up, but when those seemed like accidents tried to happen, we called the police immediately and it was over soon. But so alright, but at that time I was like a culture exchange student time, maybe pretty much, but also wanted to have a good family in the US with a good person or like a handsome cute boy, of course. Yeah, so it was probably like hard to find a good husband, but I wanted to have a husband. I wanted to build like a family and a family, and like taking care of all those like foster kids maybe because yeah, not maybe orphanage and like foster children because I was really interested in. It was calling, and when I was like during the high school time, I was interested in the orphanage, so I volunteered 3 different countries orphanage in Japan. I volunteered orphanage the staff when I was 17 years old, like 18 years old when I was teenager, and after that I was in Burma. There's like in another country too with my family because of the international business, and I volunteered the orphanage there too because it was so much something I had it. I needed to watch the orphanage situation at that time. Yeah, well, at this time I was 18 years old. Yeah, again, 18 years old, 19 years old during that time, during around those time. And in the US, when I was around 23 years old or something, or 22 years old, during my senior year in the college, I volunteered those DHS. The government is it's a pretty much orphanage, but a facility for the taking care of children under the age of 18 years old, as in the custody, children or like younger people in the custody, the government custody. I volunteered there too. So in the total, yeah, to be honest, as a result, 3 different countries before I became 22 years old, around that age, I I volunteered orphanage in 3 different countries, all the countries. But in the US, the DHS, um, the inside that house, it's not house, it's a facility. It looked nice. It's upstairs and downstairs, and the children have a schedule. I have to do a FBI, the background check before I do the volunteer there. And I drove my car and I went to those OKC in the city downtown area, and yeah, talked to those people and did the process and did a volunteer. So if you want to do the volunteer, people can do the volunteer, but you also have to do the process. It took like 3 months or 6 months to do that volunteer in that DHS facility in like Midwest area, Bible Belt area in the state. Yeah, that's what I did. It was pretty good. But anyway, so my childhood. Oh, when I was 6 years old, my mom, she didn't like the marriage. She didn't like her husband. My dad, yeah, it was not a good marriage they had. They even fight in front of the kids, physically too. And me and my younger sisters and siblings, we stopped. That's what we did. And probably entire the area people in the Tokyo area, they knew it. They heard our fight. I mean, my parents fight, and so those like Tokyo area people, some of them they know it because it's a neighborhood area, and like a Tokyo area in the JP, every like the house and between the house and the house, like people can hear even the cough sound, like those kind of the cough sound the neighbors can hear that close. It's not the US, because the US sometimes the housing area is so far away, so if we cough like like those sound, people cannot hear. But in the JPA, it's so close. Our neighborhood area is so close. So if you cough, even the coughing sound we can hear. So like that close. Basically everybody can hear. So when my parents fight during that time, of course other people could hear it. Eventually when I was 10 years old, I started thinking like, because my classmates, all those friends, they're like so coming from good family, like they're so educated. So the classmates are very, and the teachers are so high level too. So I felt I was influenced by them too. So I felt I was really educated at that time too. And so yeah, so I noticed like maybe I should be in orphanage. Maybe being in orphanage might be a right place rather than a parents are like abusing or verbally abusing, sometimes physically abusing our children. It's not a good place. Maybe in the custody, the government custody might be a right place. I thought so when I was like around 10 years old. It's crazy. But yeah, anyway, it's a long time ago story, but yeah, sometimes needs to be shared. Yeah, I've already repeated some of the like bad part maybe as a like shocking or like depressed, but I overcame. Like now I'm a happy person. But when I was like 19 years old or something around those age, I was when a teenager depressed all the time. It's pretty normal too, but yeah, I was not. I was not happier sometime in my life, but yeah, now after like I accomplished um, the life has changed so much, like a happy way. And if something went wrong, like my first husband, something went wrong, soon we did immediate action. Like I did immediate action, so it was of course all happy and good. It's the way it's supposed to be. Like made a good action, of course. Not gonna regret. Like when I was 6 years old or when I was 10 years old, I hold it so bad. So it was bad. It's affected, our psychological mind if we hold. So that's what's, yeah, that's what I didn't repeat. Of course, nobody should repeat. So, so my mom, my mom used to like hit me when I was 6 years old, 6, 7, 8 years old, because I couldn't wake up in the mornings. It was so bad. I was like crying and escaping. Uh, I was escaping like under the table, and she grabbed me, and she just come to me and hit me so bad. But now I can recall there are no bruise, so probably she didn't have like too bad, but it was still painful and it was not good. And eventually, but when my dad hit me on the head when I was like 14 years old or something, the sparkle of the star was on my and the vision, like it's when other people hit you on the head, they're sparkle, right? It's so bad. um, I was really surprised. Maybe my dad was surprised to hit so hard. So that was, it's not good. So anyway, after I was in the DV shelter from my first husband's things, some of the like DV shelter people, those are okay. Those shelter is really good too, but shelter is really educated people there to get expert on that area. So there they were saying like, no physical punishment is allowed there. I could agree, because I don't agree a physical punishment because it goes wrong. That's something I learned. And I learned something from my childhood too. So that's why when I was living in a DV shelter in the US, I loved the word they are talking about no physical punishment. And yes, I believe the same. I believe the same things as the DV shelter was motto, their motto. Yeah, they were saying that. And I agreed. And I was really happy to see their flyer, their paper saying it in the DV shelter, no physical punishment. And that's right. As a good society, because physical punishment sometimes causes a bad cycle, like people could repeat, and that's bad. Anyway, but even like people who didn't have a bad past or anything, people can go like really twisted, and bad people also exist. So we all have to be careful. So anyway, so that's what my mom did, and my mom also other share when like she also abused my younger siblings too. She became so mad over the school trip day, and it was I've already talked about this, so it's gonna be really quick. But so when I was so happy, all the kids were so happy going to the school trip, but she became so angry. So she at that time she didn't physically hit me at that time, so that was good. But verbally so mean, and she said she my younger sisters, my younger sister and I had to clean the dish, do everything before going to the school trip day. It was really shocking. It was so sad.